The Akali trailer has finally released for 2XKO. She's coming in a little over a week. And there's also a bunch of fighting game news that happened in the past like few days that I've been away winning a tournament at PAX East. So let's cover it all. And first, I want to talk about the Akali trailer. I'll show the trailer and also talk about some of the things I've learned as well. First of all, this character is sick. She reminds me a lot of like maybe like a Chip Xanath, where you have like the teleports, you have the kunais, and you have a lot of other like mobility options this character could do, right? So the teleport, very obvious. The first thing I saw when I saw this teleport, I'm like, man, this is actually slower than I thought, right? Because you see the teleport and she kind of does like a little pause and then she's able to hit. So I'm guessing if you do the teleport raw and neutral, you're probably not gonna have a good time, right? Because this is a team game, you're probably meant to like teleport plus assist. It's probably gonna be like a pretty strong option, or something like do a move, like for example, I call the assist, I do Vi charge S1, and then I teleport, and then the charge S1 hits or something like that. That's kind of how I see this character. The air teleport, I'm not really sure. Again, we don't have like a blog post or anything explaining how this character works. But I'm guessing she has a few different options out of teleport. So for example, like when we see her forward teleport, we know she can teleport to like both sides of the opponent. And I'm guessing the air teleport, there's probably like a stay, I don't know, I don't know, but there's probably a separate teleport option to like keep your opponent guessing. This is obviously a command grab super. So if you look really in detail here, like she looks like she does like almost like a Vi S1. It looks like she has like some type of lariat move that's mapped to a special, and then you cancel that lariat move into looks like a command grab super. We don't know if it has invincibility or anything. It might just be like jumpable. It could be anything, right? We don't know. But Darius does his like invincible DP that loses the grabs. This is a grab. And yeah, that could be really strong or could be pretty weak. She also has a command overhead. This looks like it's, you know, most characters have like a command overhead on the 3M. That's what I'm guessing this is. Shouts to Dingle, by the way, giving me the pace bin lore. There's a lot of cool stuff here. 24 frame startup, which is like a couple frames slower than Echo overhead, but it looks like you get a like a full combo, or at least a decent combo on hit. So makes sense that'd be a little slower than like an Echo overhead. Now this shit is cool. So she can put down the smoke bomb. That's one of her specials, and she can literally just run through the opponent. So what happens is, it's a little hard to see. What we think happens is if you spend a certain amount of time in the smoke, kind of like her League of Legends character, you gain access to this like invulnerable state, right? And it obviously goes through projectiles. So I'm guessing like if Caitlyn shot her gun like a few frames earlier, this would have like just hit her. But because she was disappeared into smoke, this goes out. And then we think she just has no collision hitbox, which means that she could stop and like attack earlier and then not cross up, or she can choose to cross up. I think it's gonna be really cheap, and you might be able to like run around a little bit and dodge. And yeah, Dingle says run the smoke is for 14 frames, which is really quick. We can't say for sure. Again, like maybe she was like in the smoke for a little bit longer here, but compared to Teemo that has to be in the grass for like a second or two to turn invisible, this seems like it's gonna be really strong. This looks like her assist. So this reminds me exactly of like the Warwick 4T, where you do 4T as anti-air invul, but this doesn't go as far. And the fact that she can convert from it too, also really nice. And then this is actually really cool. So if her air super puts down the smoke. So there's a couple different ways to put a smoke. You have like the little smoke bomb, but also the super puts down smoke. And when you have the smoke, your teleports become a lot quicker. So remember how slow the teleport was before? Now it looks like you have like sub 30 total frames on the teleport, and you're actually able to do really good mix. Yeah, this is, so like we see a couple of her specials. I'm guessing, I don't know if it's like a stance. So like Eustace, for example, has this move where he has a stance where it's like this forward advancing move, but you can like cancel the forward advancing move into a couple different follow-ups. One of them being the kunai. Is that, or is it just like a raw special? We don't know. But either way, she has a few different specials, which are pretty cool.
Try guessing right next time.
And this is the smoke bomb we're telling you about. So like she can just end her combo with the smoke bomb. You see the smoke, like obviously the smoke bomb doesn't do this, it's just editing. But you can do really cool. She also has a wall jump right here. It's kind of hard to see. And it looks like pretty ignorant to deal with too. I think wall jumps are actually secretly overrated because I'm secretly underrated. Because I think fuzzy jump is a pretty strong option in this game because it beats grab, and then the fact that you have a different option to do out of fuzzy jump is really, really nice. And that's her level 3. Bro, this character's sick. This character's sick, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, so let's go over the pace spin. Wall dump, double jump, obviously fast. She has some type of, yeah, advancing lariat. So it reminds me of like Vias 1. So Akali of Vias 1. It's kind of cheap. We'll see. Obviously has a ground teleport, air to ground, air forward teleport. Again, we're not really sure how the teleports work, but she has a few of them, right? She has a lariat that crosses up on hit, but not on block. So think Yasuo, but it looks like you're not going to get some auto mix-up, but if it hits, then it crosses up. I guess that's kind of cool. And it looks like if you're in the smoke, maybe you get like a special follow-up. Again, we're not 100% sure. She also has the ground air kunai throw. She has the air kunai throw. Maybe there's like different, like you have to store the kunais or something. Again, we're not really sure how she works, but she has a lot of different stuff she can do. Maybe she has a stance. Again, this is all theory, but this character's pretty cool. She seems to be really complicated. The other thing that kind of adds this complication. So I think 2XKO has some of the hardest fighting game characters to learn. Like in terms of like the amount of skill ceiling needed to learn a character. I think Teemo, for example, very technical character, lots of different things to learn with him. People are still finding new tech with Teemo. People are still finding new tech with fucking Darius, bro. I actually saw this, Darius block infinite. I saw this like right before I booted up stream. Like this guy found the infinite with like literally the most basic ass character 2 days ago. This is actually really cool, by the way. How do you find this shit? So yeah, you're just getting block infinite. That's pretty cool. But yeah, people are still finding tech. Like no one finds this shit in Street Fighter like 6-8 months after a character releases, right? So this game has a really high skill ceiling, which is part of the reason I really like it. You're having the hardest to use character, where I feel like this game has so many hard to use characters. This is going to be very interesting. And you can't push block in the air, by the way. That's why it's a block infinite. But yeah, anyways, there's a lot of other news. Azula, we have some Azula footage in Avatar Legends. She's pretty sick. She has a stance. That's what this is trying to show. So she has Crazy Lady stance and regular Azula stance. And I guess they do different things. That's pretty sick. We also have the full roster. They just kind of didn't really show off anything significant, but you could probably count, right? There's 10 people here. There's 12 characters, and you actually have to look back. There's the 2 Avatar activated characters as well. So you kind of almost have like Ryu and Evil Ryu. You got that going on Avatar, which, you know, to be fair, as long as they play different and unique enough, I think it's okay. And so I was a little disappointed on 12 characters, but the fact that it's only $30, I think makes it okay, honestly. 12 is actually more of the characters than released in 2XKO. So, you know, I remember games back in the day used to release like 16, 20 characters. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 when it came out, it was like 30 characters, 12 characters. I want more characters in my games, but hey, if you're only gonna charge $30 for it, and we know we have DLC coming, and each character has 3 variations, I think it's more than fair. So I can't really dock points. This game's gonna be sick. I'm really looking forward to it. We also have the official release date, which is July 2nd, I think. It's somewhere in this trailer. You'll have to take my, yeah, July 2nd. There's pre-order bonuses and stuff, deluxe edition if you want to buy the season pass. And there's also gonna be a story mode, combo trials. Yeah, I mean everything you expect from a typical fighting game, right? You can vote for a character if you pre-order. That's pretty cool, but I feel like, you know, most of the time if you're like, let's say this game probably already has some DLC planned. The first couple characters, doesn't matter what you vote, they're probably already working on it in the background. So maybe it'd be for like season 2 if this game pops off. I still think it's pretty cool. You can vote for, you know, who's going to get into the game. I don't know who I'd vote for. I think Azula is the character I was looking forward to the most. And I don't know enough people from the core storyline to say like, yeah, I want someone from the core storyline. I mostly know the people from the original OG series, the Avatar. Iroh would be pretty cool though. I'm not gonna lie. There's also some other news. The full roster for InvincibleVS is out. Conquest is the final character. Seems weird that they're adding a bunch of like I don't know how to say it. Verlamites. don't curse me for missaying that in the YouTube comments. But yeah, we have DLC announcement. I think I'm excited for InvincibleVS, brother. Viltrumites. Okay. The Viltrumites. There's a lot of Viltrumites. If you have a lot of the same kind, it's like having a bunch of Shotos in your fighting game. You know, I like variety. Can they still have variety? Sure. But I'm a little scared on that. But what I'm actually excited for, there's a beta coming out next week, which, by the way, a bunch of shit comes out next week. Akali, Guilty Gear Strive 2.0, and the beta for InvincibleVS. If you're in the top 20 of the people that play the beta on their ranked leaderboards, by the time the beta ends, you get into the game credits. This is actually so cool. I've never been in a game credit before. So I'm actually debating going for this, despite the other stuff coming out. So we'll see. I think it's just really cool. I like the game too. I'll be a beta beast, hopefully. We'll have to pick top tier though. Some other news, KOF 98 just got a 100 grand prize tournament at SWC next year. So we're going to get like a bunch of salarymen from Japan and China and all these like 40, 50-year-old dudes competing in KOF 98. That's going to be sick. I look forward to it. I'm glad they're honoring some of the older games too, which is pretty neat. Kenshiro, they showed like a 2-second clip of Kenshiro and See the Wolves. We know he comes out in June. I'm looking forward to that. I think Kenshiro is gonna farm YouTube for sure. Like I can finally make a City of the Wolves video by just playing Kenshiro. Like that's so exciting. But yeah, he'll be in June, and we still don't know the character in May. So that Wolfgang Blue Mary just came out. Wolfgang Krauser comes out in April. There's a mystery character in May. Who knows? It's probably like Robert or something, some art of fighting character, and then Kenshiro comes out. It's pretty sick. Capcom 12 VOD is now available to watch legally. I'm not watching it. I still can't believe they did their whole pay-per-view thing. They had to have lost like so much potential income from the people that weren't exposed to it and therefore aren't going to buy the game. Still a crazy decision to me. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a lot of news. Let me know what you guys think about all the news that I guess has come out. I'm personally really excited to play Akali and Guilty Gear and InvincibleVS next week. And Avatar is going to bang when it comes out too. So, all right, take care, YouTube. Peace.